For the most part, I try never to get in the way of other people if I can, okay? I've found that any time that I try to make progress and if I succeed and other people know, somebody does something to make it not feel good at the end of the day. I've been bullied all my life. I've had people literally bullying me into copying off my homework or forcing me into doing their artwork for their projects from primary school. Okay? Like it happened pretty much all my educational life. I've been bullied to this very day. And I've been bullied in the workplace too. I'm I embody significant levels of Me Too energy. And I don't think people ever really realize the full extent of how deep that can go, actually, especially when it comes to magical practitioners, right? Because some of us have had very difficult lives. The thing with a difficult life is, okay, I acknowledge everybody else's need to thrive, but you should never put somebody else down for your greed. I try very hard not to. Most of the time, it's when I'm, fuck it, I have to say it, deliberately being triggered. Okay? I am very practiced at this point of know when people are deliberately trying to play. I am not the type of person who is conflict orientated in any way. I don't like unhealthy competition, and I don't like hidden competition, and I don't like people deliberately not telling me when they have put me on some type of secret mission or whatever. Like, I just feel like people need to treat people with the dignity they deserve. And, I previously said if you don't your own path, your ass will serve. And I think some people are starting to realize I mean what I say. Even if it doesn't make sense when I say it, things tend to work out in certain ways. And people are really starting to realize that that's actually the case. Or not, if they want to believe anything else, you see. All I know is I just want to be me. I try very hard again with the not trying to stomp on anyone else's dreams. But I definitely won't be bullied on stage to protect somebody behind the screens. And I definitely won't be destiny swapped with again. Alright? Again with the again on the eyesight. Don't play. And anybody who has any opinions about that, that's okay. You're allowed your opinions at the end of the day. It was 3 on 5 on the timer as I said it, you see. Congratulations, you all got a piece of the pie. Now, anybody who thinks that they deserve more than me, okay. Some people do, some people don't. I just know that I am. I'm going to tell you a story about me, okay? And this is a COVID story from back in the day. I saw somebody online, right, trying to sell face masks at a very high, very, very, very high percentage on a site. And what these people did, okay, was the first round of the COVID vaccines and medical supplies were a hot commodity, let's just say. Some person, right, and it hurt me when I saw it, had, I'm sorry, rest in peace, George. They had his face on a t-shirt. The man who died for the Black Lives Matter movement. They disrespected him enough to put his face on a t-shirt in order to try and extortion people who were very, very vulnerable and ill due to a global medical situation that was going on. And that really didn't sit well with me at all, okay? I'm very careful what t-shirts I'll wear most days. And unfortunately, there's going to be some that I will never wear again. That's just the way. I'm very careful with what I purchase and when, sometimes. Because odd each day, all right? Like, you know, the dopamine is a thing. But I'm I try to be discerning. I try to be concerning. Sorry, somebody thinks I'm concerning. Anyway, that's not my energy. If you think I'm concerning, okay. I try to be discerning, right? And what happens is I've had a lot of people, as soon as I start clocking things, they try to block my sight. And to be honest, Ogma himself has had enough of that. All right. So whoever thinks that they are in competition with me, I'm not competing with anybody. I'm just trying to be me. I'm just trying to be me. And anybody who has to lie to me to try and make me feel like I'm less, no, thank you. And I'm definitely not cleaning up anybody else's mess. The victim's never the issue at the end of the day. The target's never the issue at the end of the day. But I'm very, very aware. Okay? Do I pick up everything? No. Because we're humans, alright? But I definitely won't be coercively controlled into anybody else's fight. The older I get, okay? And this is the thing, people sometimes find it hard. I'll be 42 next month, hopefully. I just want people to have a good life. Wherever that may be, whatever that may look like. As long as you're being kinder to the planet, please. Like, again, heavy on the I am a medium. I am a grid worker. I am an energy worker, okay? Can we have less things that hurt the environment, please, each and every day? Part of some of the things I do when I have had some of the most difficult times in my life is that I will help charities, or I will help organizations, or I will volunteer in some capacity, even if I don't have the ability to be well enough to do full-time duties. I've never been the same since COVID. It really, really badly impacted my life. Every day I'm getting better. But, you know, it's never easy, alright? There's days where I can walk 6k. There's days where I can barely make it to the kitchen. I'm not sitting back trying to be an armchair dictator or control anybody else's, lives. That's not who I am. But I'm definitely not going to be energetically manipulated or groomed into participating in somebody else's plan in a way that makes me feel uncomfortable or lesser in any way. And I'm not doing it for anybody else's greed at the end of the day. When I say I'm a protector energy, don't play. And anybody who thinks that they can get the better of me, well done, alright? Don't come into my face with that shit. As for anybody else in my family, sorry, somebody else tried to tap into my energy. They've been doing it a long time actually. And they're not welcome in my energy. So, ancestors, deity, spirit team specifically. I moved to the D to get away from the O apostrophe. This is why I need my pagan paperwork, okay? Not all people who come from magical practitioner families want to be magical practitioners, and we shouldn't be forced to at the end of the day. And anybody who manifests off us without our explicit consent needs to go away. And whatever that looks like, that's not mine to say. But what I will say is, the way that I have been treated, like I actually was crying, shaking in a corner because people were energetically trying to groom me into behaving the way they wanted to. And as I say, as a former Catholic, I know grooming energy. As a former youth worker and somebody who was previously trained in child protection and guideline training, I am very aware. I have reported things. I have seen things. I have dealt with young people at risk previously. I would sooner not be involved in an organisation than put any at risk, actually. That's how much of a protector I am, okay? Like, going back to the trafficked at 16 first, that I'm aware of, okay? When people think that they can take advantage of people like me, they really don't take us seriously. And it happens all the time, right? Count it out, count it out, count it out, count it out, count it out. And then when somebody thinks that they've figured it out, they're still not right. The older I get, okay, the more I'm learning that some of the people that I cared about the most didn't hold me in the same regard, unfortunately. And they're only comfortable if I'm not, which is unhealthy. And I'm not here for anybody's ego, okay? Not doing it at the end of the day. I just want everybody to have a good life as best they can. And I'm certainly not dying for no man. Unless that happens later down the line, you see. Because I'm not going to say anything that I shouldn't in this moment, actually. So, excuse me. I have an ancestral message coming in directly. Ancestors, deities, spirit teams, specifically Talon Arm, Targram, Tarkri Arm. I'm quite careful with what resources I will and will not use, you see. Because I'm actually one of those people that, as a protector energy, I will be red team or blue team as it needs to be. I am not, weaponizing psychology. I'm actually just trying to manage the energy. Anybody who thinks that I don't clock certain things, I do. And anybody who needs to lie to me to try and make me feel like I am anxious enough that I need them, no thank you. Anybody who's going to try and force me into a situation where I have nothing so that I need them, no thank you. Anybody who thinks that they get to control me and teach me without my consent, no thank you. Anybody who thinks that they can force me to buy a product or a service that I don't want, unless I don't clock it, because shady moves. Tech teams, I see you. Again, no thank you. I'm not being a Grinch, okay? I just, for very good reasons, I'm very careful what I will accept these days. And here's the thing with being that type of energy, okay? I don't want to be anybody other than myself. I'm not trying to be anybody. I'm not trying to model myself off anybody. I'm not trying to steal anybody else's limelight. I'm not trying to do any of that stuff, okay? But if you think I am, fine. Sail away. I've had people in my own family slander me, okay? I've had people in my own family steal opportunities from me. I've had people from my own family try and take romantic partners from me. I've had people from my own family try and stop me from having romantic partners, actually. I've had people just treat me with so much disrespect. It's been really not easy. Part of the reason why I call in the ancestors, okay, is because I've been so bullied that it's really hard for me to speak for myself every day. That's it. And, when it comes to people and how they feel about that, okay? If you have a feeling, go to see a therapist. Because the type of people who have issues with how I move are people who are challenging me because they feel like they have something to prove. Anybody who thinks that I disrespect them, I don't. I just won't be treated like a joke. And for the gamers out there, okay? Sorry, lads. The trans beat you at the end of the day. And when I say the trans, you see, I represent me in the T. I'm not anybody else's puppet on a string. I don't try to make people uncomfortable, okay? But I'm definitely not going to let anybody else manifest off me before I get to be myself and earn with integrity. That's all I wanted to do at the end of the day, was earn with integrity. More than others who actually pretend to, actually. So, if anybody doesn't want me having anything got to do with being in an entrepreneurial arena, because I am a professional in multiple industries I've worked in, heavy on the ADHD, many of us go through many different career paths because the world wasn't ready for us, unfortunately. Some of us make really good people when it comes to development, though, okay? I tend to end up being around high-level creators, engineers, architect mindsets, okay? That's just the nature of my soul. But also, the amount of them who've treated me really badly. The amount of them. I would sooner disassemble and break down barriers and build equality, okay? That's the E. The E is the equality I'm chasing today. I think many industries need to have a rethink about certain things. The depth of level of awareness I have, okay, is making some other people in certain industries unhappy because they've nothing to say, which speaks volumes for some of those energies themselves at the end of the day. The way people disrespect Irish spirituality, right? And I'm not going on about anybody else's private businesses because I don't have one. I'm just talking about me right now, okay? But people who have disrespected me and my integrity and the fact that I am choosing to be a pagan deliberately, and now over the last year you're seeing why, actually. Some of you hopefully will understand a little bit more, actually. The reason why I'm choosing my paganism, okay, is again as a medium psychic channel, intuitive, and a bit of an investigator, okay? I understand a lot more than people give me credit for. Some people hold certain doors. Some of us will help close them, okay? But what you don't realize is the door that you're holding is your door, and I'm actually helping to unlock, lock, close, open, and other doors in order to protect as many people as I can in as many ways. If I don't have a home of my own, you see, well then how can I have a dog to put a license on, respectfully? And if my brother doesn't have a living dog, all right, well how can I give the blessings to him to make sure that he's going to be all right? And if I didn't have the ability to have a dog to be by my side, well then I'd definitely give the blessings to Broad to make sure that we had pride. I'm not a bad person. I'm not stealing anybody else's blessings. I'm just making sure that the children of Ireland have the best protections. And I hope that gives some people some cause for reflection. Anybody who's going to try and get into my ear and tell me who I am, don't do it. Now, if I'm listening and there's stuff I want to hear, I'll hear it, okay? But if I say no, don't throw magic my way. That's it for today. And for those who aren't throwing magic, love ye. Take care, okay?